Hello friends and fellow gamers, today we're going to be talking about heroes that you can safely use as food when focusing on using elves in Angel Legion. Now elves are a very complicated mechanic which a lot of people feel a little uncomfortable with because you have to feed heroes to get them, and oftentimes people don't know really which heroes to feed because so many of them are needed in a variety of the different game modes. So hopefully I'll be giving you some insight into what is a safe hero to get rid of so that you can make some progress for light and dark elves on your heroes. In addition, if you want to check out this game that you see today, this is Angel Legion, and today's video is sponsored by the developers. You can download it for free on the Google Play Store, you can get it on the App Store for iOS, and you can also get it on Steam if you play on PC. It's also available through emulators for Android as well, if that was something you wanted to give a try on your PC too. So do go ahead and check it out. It is free to download, and you can get some codes for your account. So hop down into the description, and you'll find a little link where you can enter all your account information, the server you're on, and the codes that you can find in the description too to get some free rewards to help you in your Angel Legion journey. Anyway, folks, without further ado, let's go ahead and check out some heroes that you could safely use as food. So there's two types of heroes you need to know about in Angel Legion. There are heroes that make elemental elves, and there are heroes that make light and dark elves. If you go into the cabin and you select the biological cabin and then you go to convert, you'll be able to turn any of the heroes you have 100 copies of into a elf. Now let's look at Shy Girl, for example. You see there's a 25% chance to get a fire, wind, earth, or water elf. And these elves are typically less powerful than their light and dark counterparts. So if you go and take a look at my team, you'll notice that my most powerful heroes are using not water ones like my Maya, but actually light and dark ones like my Deadly Shadow. And this is a much more powerful elf that's giving significantly stronger bonuses. So for your end game team, or as you move forwards, for your stronger heroes, you'll want to have light and dark elves, as these are going to give you much more powerful benefits. However, they are harder to obtain, and as you saw with that Shy Girl, she wasn't offering them. So heroes that you're typically used to using as food, these are non-combo heroes that don't synergize with Maya, you'll know that these heroes do not offer you light or dark when it comes to the conversion in the biological cabin. If we take a look at some other heroes such as Filial Spirit, you'll see there's a 50-50 chance of getting a light or a dark. Also, you get 3 random elves when you break one of these down, so there is a good chance of getting quite a number of elves that you're looking for. However, given the fact there's so many different combo heroes in the game, how the heck do you know who to feed? Because if you've seen any advice anywhere, it is don't use combo heroes as food. They're very, very good. You'll also notice that healers here, like Mental Healing, Sakura Dancer, these healers offer you light and dark elves when you go ahead and break them down in the biological cabin. So what the heck do we want to go with? Well, first things first, if you take a look at my heroes, you'll see I have a massive abundance of healers. And that is because healers are often the easiest to obtain heroes in the game. If you go to the mall and click on Arena, you'll see in the Arena store, you can pick up Ghost Princesses for sale. If you go ahead to your Legion and look at the Legion shop, you'll see exactly the same thing. If you go to the store, but it's not Ghost Princess, it's Mental Healing. And if you go ahead into the challenge mode and you look at the simulated alpha, if you're doing the simulated alpha, look at your rewards, because my friends, you get Sakura Dancer. So the developers know that healers are very important, and most teams will want a healer on them, so they give you lots of copies of them. However, it doesn't end there. If you go to the cabin and look at the bio cabin and press advance, you'll know that if you want to take a hero from S tier to SS, you're going to need SS genes. But to make SS genes, you're going to need copies of other heroes. So this Sakura Dancer, for example, if I wanted to make an SS Sakura Dancer, I would need a copy of Ghost Princess. So it's not just as simple as going, oh, well, this is the healer I'm not using, and throwing it away. In this case, if I want to build Sakura Dancer, I'm going to need Ghost Princesses, and that leaves Mental Healing as the healer that I'm not using. In that case, I would safely use Mental Healing and recommend her as food to use. Maybe Mental Healing is the one you go with, and in that case, you're going to need to save Sakura Dancers, and Ghost Princess will be the one you use as food. In my opinion, it's probably good to have a Sakura Dancer on your team so that you can use her. Therefore, you probably want to go and keep her around, and therefore you probably do want all 3 of the healers, but you're never going to be building all of them at the same time, and you should be getting copies fairly quickly. So if you're ever in a pinch, I definitely recommend using healers to get yourself some light and dark elves in the conversion option. But that's only one way to do this, and I'm going to be covering 5 heroes in total, so we've still got 4 more to go and take a look at. Now, another thing you need to know about is that my lovely moderation team, or should I say the Talking Scribe, who is my chief moderator, has gone ahead and and put together a lovely little infographic that tells you how to make SS heroes. Not only does it include the basic instructions, it also shows you the heroes needed. So for Arcane Scholar, you're going to need a Swordmaster, which is another combo hero, to go ahead and make an SS Arcane Scholar. What you can immediately learn from this graph is that actually keeping some heroes around that often we say aren't very good is an important thing to do, because even if they're not useful, they're still going to be important for building up other heroes. So take a look at this list. You'll see that Swordmaster appears not only for Arcane Scholar, but also for Dark Shooter, and as well for Saint of Orleans up there. On the other hand, some heroes just don't appear on this list at all, apart from for themselves, and that's going to be two key heroes that you can safely use as food: Saint of Orleans and Tenkafubu. Both of these heroes had promise, but didn't end up being very good when they were released, and therefore they're heroes that really you can safely get rid of. So if we go back into Angel Legion, if you're curious who you can use, Saint of Orleans is a good option, as is Tenkafubu. So if you ever find yourself with an abundance of copies, you can go ahead and get rid of them. Pretty simple. Now, if we go back and look at that infographic, you'll also see that some heroes show up a little more surprisingly than you'd expect. Look, for example, at Justice Knight. She's needed for Tenkafubu and Swordmaster. So even though we say Justice Knight isn't a very good hero, you do need lots of copies of her if you want to build up other heroes. And you might be thinking to yourself, hang on a second, but what if I don't want to build Tenkafubu, and what if I don't want to build Swordmaster? Well, one important thing that people forget, which is a really key oversight, is that when you're looking at your heroes, the Palace is a very important game mode, and in the prayer menu, you want to have as many heroes in here as possible. Now, another thing that people don't realize is that combo heroes offer significantly better bonuses when used in the prayer, as opposed to other heroes that are non-combo heroes. So for example, if I put a Shy Girl in here, or a Shora Killer, the Shora Killer will be giving significantly higher bonuses to my team than the Shy Girl, even if they were exactly the same level. For that reason, it's great to build up every combo hero you can to fill out this chart. Therefore, I wouldn't get carried away and throw away every hero you don't plan on using, because it's very important that you keep other heroes around to build them up for the prayer options here, because obviously having them built is going to give better bonuses to your whole team, similar to the tenant system in Idle Heroes. You can't ignore the prayer menu because it offers such massive bonuses to your team. Look at that, 60% HP, 30% attack. These numbers are huge, and therefore it is something you do not want to ignore. So it's always worth keeping combo heroes around. Of course, if you have an overabundance of copies, you can of course use any combo hero that you don't need as food. But do remember to refer to this chart, because this chart is going to tell you who is worth keeping around. Now, another thing we can learn from this chart is that heroes that we really don't want to build, and even heroes that are so bad that we'll wait until the very end to build them as combo heroes, are also worth looking at. So Justice Knight we've already mentioned. Now, Justice Knight, even though she's a hero that we don't really want to be using, as we said earlier, is used for Swordmaster and Tenkafubu. Therefore, we don't want to be using our Justice Knight copies to build Elves, because obviously for the Prey menu, when we want to build up Swordmaster and Tenkafubu, we're going to need Justice Knight copies. But if we take a look at Justice Knight herself, she needs Bounty Hunter. And Bounty Hunter doesn't appear anywhere else on this list. Unfortunately, heroes that are on the Sniper team that require Sniper Maya are significantly worse than either Scythe or Katana teams. Therefore, Bounty Hunter is a safe hero to get rid of if you have an abundance of copies and you don't need to go building up a Bounty Hunter anytime soon, because she's only needed for Justice Knight, and trust me, you're not going to be rushing to build a Justice Knight. The same goes up here with Flame Witch. Even though Flame Witch is needed for Deadly Shadow, one of, if not the best hero in the game, you're not going to be rushing to build a Flame Witch herself, because Flame Witch is terrible. And as all your Flame Witch copies are going to be going into Deadly Shadows, you're not going to be building SSs. And therefore, Butterfly Girl, who you can see here, isn't going to be as in demand as you'd think. Now, I have mentioned that Butterfly Girl is one of my favorite heroes, but unfortunately, she relies on a sniper team to be good. Also, Energy Steal just isn't as good as Stun. Therefore, Time Guardian and Deadly Shadow are going to push ahead when it comes to priority for heroes I want to build. Butterfly Girl just does not cut it into my top 6 lineup. So therefore, you're really not going to be needing or building Butterfly Girl. So Butterfly Girl is another hero you can safely use to make Elves up until you get to a point where you really do need her. So there we go. That's some more heroes for you to consider. Overall, it's Tenkafubu, safe get rid of. We've got Saint of Orleans, Butterfly Girl, Bounty Hunter, and when you have an overabundance of healers, you can get rid of them too. So that's hopefully a quick little list to help you when you're thinking of who you can get rid of for elves. Although before we finish up today, there's one thing I really want to stress that a lot of people will forget. If you go to the god menu, Athena and Ares, two of the most, if not the best gods in the game, require you to have heroes built up to 1-star gold. Therefore, do not forget, you're going to need 4 copies of a hero to go ahead and build them up. So even though we said you can use Butterfly Girl, you see that she's required here to get Athena. And with Ares, it's the same story, but with Bounty Hunter. So just be aware of that. Getting these heroes, even though I said you can use them as food, you do need to know that sometimes you've got to make sure you've got the copies around if you haven't already got Ares and Athena unlocked. As you approach late game though, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Just make sure you stay on top of the palace and keep those prayer heroes coming in. And as you find yourself running out of food and with an overabundance of combo heroes that you don't need, you can safely get rid of them too. And hopefully one day, guys, you'll find yourself just like me with a 5-star light and dark elf rocking on your favorite hero. Hopefully this was useful. Don't forget, if you want to try out this game for yourself, you can find it on the Google Play Store and on the App Store for iOS. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any more questions or advice you want to know for Angel Legion, drop it in the comment section down below and I will do my best to make a video about that. Either way, guys, I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe and, of course, happy idling.